Original Metroid Prime 4 pre-orders on Amazon are being canceled. So I seen this news and I thought it was really unfortunate, especially for people that have been waiting for this game to come out for so long because of how long it's been. I believe it's been like it's like 7 or 8 years that this was announced. And so, there's obviously fans of this franchise that were really hoping they were going to be able to get the chance to pre-order it and kind of keep their orders the way they were from when they originally purchased it. But the fact that they canceled it really showed that there are going to be some changes as far as the game goes and everything like that. And there are some things that kind of justify why that has been the case. But still, I feel like since it's been so long, I feel like those fans should at least be honored for what they had done originally as far as pre-ordering it through Amazon. But it is what it is at the end of the day. They can decide if they want to go that route, especially if Nintendo kind of went at them. So we'll go ahead and check out the article, see why some of the reasoning for this is, and then we'll get into it. So, fans who pre ordered the original version of Metroid Prime 4 on Amazon are logging in to find that their reserved copies are being canceled. Way back in 2017, Nintendo announced that the long awaited Metroid Prime 4 was in development with original Prime Trilogy producer Kensuke Tanabe back at the helm. However, the sequel would be developed by Bandai Namco Studios in Japan and Singapore rather than Retro Studios like the first three Metroid Prime entries. And that's one of the things that I'm sure is pretty disappointing to hear with, fans of the original trilogy hearing that the game is going to be developed by a different studio, especially if they've been such big fans of the original trilogy. To hear that there's going to be someone else that's going to be developing it is really unfortunate just because, I'm sure it's probably going to have a little bit of a different feel from the original three. There is a possibility that they can kind of stay true to what the original trilogy was and kind of keep it going as is. But if Nintendo is anything to go off of, especially with what happened when the game was originally supposed to be released, for anyone that doesn't know, Metroid Prime 4 was pretty much scrapped and had to start completely over just because Nintendo wasn't happy with the direction that they were going in with the franchise as far as the Metroid Prime series. So it was one of those things where a lot of fans were disappointed, but at the same time a lot of them were like, it does suck that they're having to scrap it and start from scratch. But they were like, I'd rather have them do that than come out with a game that doesn't serve the Metroid Prime series justice that it deserves. So hearing that it is going to be developed by a different studio, I'm not sure if it was that studio originally that was in charge way back when Nintendo decided to scrap it, or if they are going with Bandai Namco because of the fact that the original studio that they had felt like it wasn't staying true to it. So hopefully it is something that can stay, as it was as far as the original trilogy goes. But who knows? Only time will tell in that regard. So, however, about 2 years later, Nintendo announced that development for Metroid Prime 4 had been restarted from the ground up, with Retro Studios replacing Bandai Namco Studios as developer due to the latter reportedly not meeting Nintendo standards. Yep, there we go. In 2024, Nintendo released the first official trailer for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, featuring Samus embarking on a new mission at a remote Galactic Federation research facility and highlighting some of the game's first person action. While there is no official release date for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond yet, Nintendo says that it will launch something in 2025. And there we go. That kind of answered my own question earlier, which was that, yeah, Bandai Namco Studios and developers were the ones that weren't meeting the standard and requirements for Nintendo. So again, the fact that they decided to go with a different studio just kind of shows why they probably shouldn't have done that in the first place. But at the same time, once again, it was good that they decided to kind of step back in that direction and really, fix things so that it wasn't something that the fans wouldn't be satisfied for. And you really gotta appreciate Nintendo for doing that. In the meantime, some pre-orders for the old incarnation of Metroid Prime 4 are being canceled on Amazon, as reported by Nintendo Life. A Reddit user by the handle of Mecha_Flake is one of the customers finding out that their pre-orders had been canceled, sharing the message they received from Amazon on, I'm guessing, Reddit/Metroid. According to this message, they note that their pre-order was so old that it still had the special discount that Amazon had offered at the time, and other users are coming forward with their own orders being canceled. Amazon is canceling original Metroid Prime 4 pre-orders. Amazon appears to be canceling OG Metroid Prime 4 pre-orders. So again, that is really unfortunate that they're going that direction, but with it being so long since it was announced back in 2017, you can't, I feel like at this point you can't really hold them to that in that regard, but at the same time it does kind of suck, and it would be really cool if Nintendo decided to do something for those fans. Be like, hey, like we're either we're gonna give you like a discount still, since that was originally what you guys had, or do something that'll kind of make up for it to them, because for fans that have been waiting that long and have been holding out and actually did the pre-orders, I feel like there has to be something that shows the love, that that the fact that they love this franchise so much that they were able to do that, and at least in my opinion. Amazon's official message says that these Metroid Prime 4 cancellations are due to a lack of availability, which could be the result of Metroid Prime 4's development being restarted and how long it has been since the pre-orders were first ordered on Amazon's online store. Affected customers are speculating that Amazon might not want to honor the old pre order discount price of $48, since most new Nintendo exclusives usually cost $70. And that's gotta be a big reason why, right there, is because of the fact that they have to face facts that if they did decide to stick with the original order and discount that they got, that's 22 bucks that they'd be getting off of a free game, which is awesome in my opinion. But at the same time, I feel like with how many people probably pre-ordered that game at the time, that'll probably end up coming out to a pretty big loss for Nintendo, that they would have to deal with. And they probably went to Amazon and was like, no, like you guys aren't going to follow up with this. This is going to have to change because this is going to be a little bit too much money that's going to come out of our pocket because of it. And again, I think that's really unfortunate. I think that's kind of shitty for them to do that, you know what I mean? Especially since that was originally what was offered. But at the same time, I feel like it is kind of understandable. I feel like the best they should do at least is kind of even it out to what, the game would have been, which probably would have been $60 at the time, and at least give them that. So if it's gonna be $70, maybe take off like what, like $12, so that they can get at least like a $58 game instead of the $70, since they did pre-order before. But who knows? Only time will tell at this point to see if they're going to actually do anything for those fans. I feel like they should. I feel like it's pretty much deserved at this point. But the fact that they're canceling it right now and they're not really giving any more information, they just kind of decided to cancel it. It makes it seem like that probably won't be the case, which is really unfortunate. On a positive note, these pre-order cancellations seem to only pertain to the original version of Metroid Prime 4 that was announced in 2017, and don't appear to be a sign of any further development trouble for the retooled Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. The next chapter in Samus's first-person saga is still set to be released in 2025, and there has even been speculation that Metroid Prime 4 could serve as a launch title for the new Nintendo Switch 2 console. And that's where I feel like it's so weird, because there's so much information that we're getting as far as the Switch 2, as far as like leaks and everything like that. I think I've heard like 3 or 4 different games that are supposed to be like launch title games for the Switch 2. I've heard Metroid Prime 4 right here. Just did read an article that I'm gonna be releasing a video on, in regards to Resident Evil Zero remake potentially having a launch title, that being a launch title for that, and then another one was Mario Kart 9, and then I think there was also Pokemon that was supposedly gonna be, a launch title. So maybe there are going to be like that many launch titles, or are going to have a lot of different games that they're going to have available. But the fact that there's so many that are coming out and stating that, oh, this is going to be a launch title for the Switch 2, it's kind of funny to me, because we haven't really gotten any information on the Switch 2 yet. So it's like, what's going to happen at this point? Hopefully, we are going to get some information. I believe they said tomorrow, possibly. But that's another thing that's still kind of up in the air. So who knows with that. But as far as Metroid Prime goes, I think this is really unfortunate that they got, their pre-orders canceled. But at the same time, even though that's some kind of shitty news right there, I feel like it kind of is a little bit of good news as well because more than likely it'll mean that Metroid Prime 4 is probably on its way and going to be coming sooner than we think. So fingers crossed with that, and we'll just have to see, give it some time, and then we'll have to check out what happens. So those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. How do you guys feel about, Amazon having to cancel these pre-orders for the original Metroid Prime 4? Do you think they should still get some type of discount or give them some type of incentive for being able to pre-order way back when? You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys could like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you guys have been watching this long, I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And yeah, until next time, Harmonic out. Peace.